Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Culture Shock. And on this Saturday, it is September 11th, 2021. If you don't know what that means, it means we're celebrating the 20th anniversary of 9/11. Now, a lot of people don't know what happened on 9/11. A lot of people who are, in my opinion, protesting, whining, and crying, and coming up with all these names and genders for everybody don't understand the significance behind that day. And it's very important that we as Americans, and I mean all of us, not just a few, but all of us as Americans understand that 9/11 changed the way we did things, period. It changed the way we look at things, and it even brought us together in times of great and just terrible death and destruction. We as Americans came together. So we're going to get into it. So this is going to be a long video at all. I just wanted to kind of give my 2 cents on the significance of this day and pray to God nothing like this happens ever again going forward to our country, of course, or to any country, but more importantly, our country, because we're Americans. So make sure you do hit that like and subscribe button. Let me know how you guys like this video. What are your thoughts on 9/11? Were you alive? Were you not? What do you think about the whole day? I would love to hear what you guys think. So go ahead and check out my podcast version of this episode. You can go ahead and hit the link below. And of course, check out heroicstudiosmedia.com. Indie Monthly Magazine was a huge success for September, and we're getting ready to start October's issue. So if you are a creator and you want to be featured in the magazine, go ahead and fill out the form at heroicstudiosmedia.com. Go to the Contact Us tab and fill out the form if you want to be a contributor, if you want to be featured, or if you just want to run an ad. So if you want to run an ad, speaking of which, they are free for the month of October. So first come, first serve. Make sure you guys do get in there. All right, go on. Let's get back to it. 9/11, such a significant day. Like I said before, people who were marching and rioting and destroying stuff all last summer do not know what 9/11 was. Why? Because they were either too young to remember or they hadn't been born yet. Again, people who are doing all this stuff are in their early adult years, meaning they're from 18 to about 20, maybe 21. All right. 9/11 was a dark day for us. Now, I was going to school. I think I was maybe in the 8th grade, 7th grade, and I heard what was happening in New York over the radio, and I didn't understand what it was at the time because I'm just some kid. But as those days flew forward, September 12th, September 13th, 14th, 15th, all the way in through the next year and a year beyond, I started to see what had happened. Watching those planes fly into the Twin Towers and attack the Pentagon, and flying out into a field in Virginia, it was terrible to watch because there was so many people who lost their lives, who had died, who had no idea what was happening that day or what was going to happen. And us as a nation watching as that unfolded and watching the footage going over and over again, it brought a sense of unity. It brought a sense of coming together and gathering because through the pain, through it all, these people who attacked us, they didn't think of us as these separate factions of people. They didn't think of us as white, black. They didn't think of us as gay, poor, rich. They didn't think of us as any of those. They saw us as one thing, and that is Americans. And these people hated us just for the fact that we live in the freest country on the planet. And they didn't like to see it. So they decided to try and destroy it. So now we fast forward 20 years later to this day, to what happened last summer, to what's going on now. And we are no longer united as a people. We are so far divided because under the mantle of wanting to be proud of your country, to be patriotic, to understand that we are all in this together. There are people out there who want to keep sowing the seeds of division, and it's happening in real time. You have whites, you have the blacks, you have the Latinos, you have the people of color now, which kind of generates everybody. We have the LGBTQ community. We have all these explanations for gender and sex and non-binary and two-spirited people. We have now the unvaccinated versus the vaccinated versus the anti-vax versus the anti-mandate versus the anti-mask. We have all these people who see themselves as different, as subsets of people in our culture that we do not know what unifies us anymore as a country. And these people know that. So if another attack does ensue, which I'm praying to God that it doesn't, these people aren't going to see us as what we see ourselves, how we see our division. They're not going to see us as left or right, white or black, gay, straight, trans women, trans men, biological when birthing people. They're not going to see us like that. They're going to see us as one unifying body because they don't care. They don't care. The whole idea behind this is to destroy the country from within. And then people who are in power and the people who are watching from other countries, they see it. Just last week, China banned sissy men in entertainment. Why? Because they want their men to be strong. And not only that, they want to pump up their military. They want to make sure that they're having children over there. Meanwhile, over here, we don't know what a man is, if he's a woman or if he's straight or if he's gay, which none of that really matters in the long run, to be honest. But China's seeing that as a weakness, and they're coming at us with all this stuff, with everything. They saw us leaving Afghanistan as a weakness, and they swooped on in and acknowledged the Taliban for what they did in terms of defeating the most powerful country in the world, which technically they didn't, but that's a video for another time. My point is that 9/11, 20 years ago, brought us together, and we began to understand that we as a country needed to band together and fight back those who hit us here. And that is what we did. Even though the war in Iraq, which I thought we were going to go get Osama bin Laden, didn't happen, but again, a video for another time. People need to understand and realize that today, right now, is a very crucial point in American history. I wouldn't even say history. I would focus on the here and now. It's a very crucial turning point here and now in how we do things going forward. If we keep on and continue sowing these seeds of division, then people who want to see us burn and destroy us will be easy. They will have no challenge in doing so because they know that we're never going to agree on what makes an American American. What makes an American is you helping your fellow American. That's what Americans do. That day on 9/11, when those planes hit those towers, people rushed in. They didn't care what skin color they were. They didn't care what the people in those buildings, their sexuality, their gender, their race, their religion, their social status, their whatever. They did not care. Those people, both first responders and civilians, rushed into the smoke to help those people who were hurt, to do their best to ensure that those people made it home to those families. Some of them didn't, but the fact of the matter remains, we did what we knew was right in order to preserve our freedom and to preserve this country. You can't let these people today tear you apart. You can't let them tell you otherwise because these people don't know. They don't remember that day. They don't understand the significance of that day. It's not just planes flying to a tower. It's not just when we went over to Iraq or Afghanistan to find Osama bin Laden. That is the day that America was unified under one threat. And we understood that threat would try again to harm our country. And they will try again. And they probably have tried dozens, even hundreds of times since that day, but they will try again. And with Joe Biden in office, I hate to say it, I'm praying to God again that nothing happens, that these people just kind of sort of leave us alone, but they won't. They won't. So I'm making a pledge right now. There's no more division. Whether you're on the right or the left, whether you're vaxxed or unvaxxed, whether you're black, white, gay, LGBTQ, none of that matters. All those labels, they don't matter because at the end of the day, if something happens on our country, it is all of us who are affected. And you need to point to the people at Washington who are continuously pointing out all the people who don't fall in line, how they're the enemy, how your neighbor next door who isn't unvaccinated is causing COVID to spread. That's not true. That is not true. I was told if you got the COVID vaccine, you're good. Why would I have to get the vaccine if my neighbor is unvaccinated? Why would he have to get the vaccine if I'm unvaccinated? I know it sounds weird. Bear with me. It's play. But the people in Washington are the ones who are sowing the seeds of division. We can't let these people do it. If you ask me, these people need to just go. Get out. This isn't a retirement home. This isn't a long-term career. You need to get out. Us as Americans, as the people that we have elected them to represent, are not doing their job. So we have to do it now. We have to understand and we have to make people see that as long as you are a citizen of this country, doesn't matter. Our enemies are our enemies, and they are going to come for us. And we need to be standing united on that forefront and understand that we are Americans, all of us, regardless of how you look, how you act, how you think, how you talk, how much money you have in the bank, who you like to hook up with in bed. Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, folks, that's it for this video. Never forget 9/11. And if you were not born on that day, I implore you to go look up what happened, the atrocity that unfolded there, because I guarantee you that at some point, someone somewhere would say that this day did not matter. It mattered a lot because it put us on a trajectory to being more unified as a country. And that is very important. Having faith, having love, being patriotic for your country is not a bad thing. Represents who you are, represents who you come from. And it's okay to be proud of your country and of the benefits that comes with being an American, because other people everywhere else who are stuck in subjugated countries like China and Afghanistan and Russia wish they were here. And that's what makes us a threat, because we don't subjugate our people. We do not underestimate their capacity to not only do good, but to do the right thing. We can't let that happen. We can't let that happen. We cannot forget. We all have to come together and understand America is still a good thing. It's still a good idea. And it's still working despite what's going on today. All right, guys, hit that like and subscribe button. And I will see you guys next time on Culture Shock. Have a good one.